What's up guys, welcome back to a new Kengan Omega chapter review. Today we have chapter 101. For today's review, I'm looking at a Reddit translated version rather than the more official or better version that normally comes out on Mangadex a little bit later in the night. The reason for this is I'm pretty beyond tired at this point, and I'm about to pass out at any point here, and I don't want to miss uploading the review at around the regular time. It'll be like 12 hours later if I fall asleep now, so I decided to look at this version rather than wait for the more official version. And based on previous weeks, this version seems to be pretty accurate with like a few words or panels here and there that are a little bit off, but for the large majority it seems to be pretty accurate, and the person seems to be, spending more time on it to get it more accurate and taking feedback. So this version can be just as good as the other version. As we know, there's no official English translation of Kengan, so just whatever one you prefer, but today I'm looking at this one. I'll probably stick to the Mangadex one that comes out later on for future weeks, unless I'm a bit on tired like today again. Now onto the review. So this chapter was beastly in my opinion. I enjoyed everything about this chapter. Probably the best chapter so far for this fight. We had the back and forth between Hyami and Jirota, with Hyami actually doing some damage to Jirota. We learned some more about Jirota, and we finally had the reveal about what Hyami is, whether he's actually the brother of Maguro, is Maguro himself, or is a clone of Maguro. Everything is revealed in this chapter. I'll be covering everything, so make sure to watch to the end. Now let's go. Be a mad lad by subscribing and joining the superior side, helping me reach my 2021 goal of 100k subscribers. I also have a Patreon for people who want various benefits while supporting the channel directly, alongside the Discord server and my Twitter. That's all linked in the description. Now enjoy the video. Apparently the title of this chapter is I've completed it, I've perfected it. Starting out where we left off in chapter 100, with Hyami finally getting an upper hand over Jirota, getting him in a triangle choke, with Jirota actually praising Hyami here, saying that was a good move. So Hyami is getting better and better as this fight is going on. And then out of nowhere we got Jirota trying to get out of the triangle choke with his raw strength alone. That seems to be off the charts, with him actually forcing Hyami's legs open with his strength. He just grabs his leg and starts ripping open. You kind of expected his raw strength to be top tier in the verse, considering he's able to slam people with a pretty decent amount of force with like the friction of their skin. With that alone, you gotta assume their raw strength is pretty much off the chart. But yeah, he's able to slightly open Hyami's legs, but Hyami isn't giving up, resulting in Jirota to praise Hyami even more, with him saying your situational awareness is exceptional. And Hyami's response is I'm honored for the compliment, showing he's still sane at this current point in this fight, which is reassuring considering last chapter I thought he was going insane at the end of the chapter, but he seems to be sane at the start of chapter 101. And this also seems to be more of a grappling fight now, and one of the only grappling fights we've had throughout Kengan, with there being less than 5 I believe. We had Okubo and Kano, we had Oma and Cosmo, and then like a few others, but this one is a fight that's on the ground currently, which is always good to see, refreshing compared to the regular stuff we get from Kengan. As they're still on the ground with Jirota trying to get out of his choke, we cut to Lolong, who says the following: Jirota does not strike. That is both his weakness and his greatest strength. So Jirota only wins or damages opponents with his throws, which in my opinion limits him quite a bit, making my current assumption about Jirota is that his throwing skill or judo skill is what was compared to Kuroki by Kuroki himself, not his overall fighting skill. As we know, Kuroki is the pinnacle of martial arts. I could say, based on everything we've shown so far, Jirota is the pinnacle of judo or pinnacle of slams per se. So he may be the best in the verse at slams, but as a whole he probably isn't on the same level as Kuroki due to him being limited to only throws. However, as Lolong mentions, it's also his greatest strength. My idea around it being his greatest strength is he can't really get countered by throwing a punch and then getting it like snapped, like what Kuroki did to Kano in Kengan Ashura. The dragon shot misfired, and Kuroki got the advantage after that misfire. Jirota doesn't have to worry about all that, as he only relies on his slams, which he's completely mastered with his own unique style, making the risk of people countering him being pretty low and giving him an advantage in most cases. So it's his weakness, but it's also his greatest strength. But if I had to sum them two up, it makes Jirota top tier, but not at the peak of the verse like someone Kuroki currently is, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts of everything I just talked about down in the comments. Then we cut back to the fight with Drota finally getting out of Hayami's hold, with Hyami saying, "Far out man, I'm losing self-confidence now," showing he's still the same Hyami from, prior to this fight. And then we got them to, attacking each other. We got Drota slamming Hyami into the ground while they're both on the ground, but as expected, Hyami is instantly up and on top of Drota again, with Drota actually looking pretty shocked and somewhat worried here, but Drota's able to escape again, and then finally Hyami lands an attack on Drota, and it's pretty much a kick to the face. However, that kick was blocked by Drota, but he's going flying, and as he's flying and he lands, Hyami is right there again to actually land a kick to his face that actually lands. So Hyami has finally done some damage to Drota. But you think Drota, someone who's top tier, will, just get kicked without doing anything about it? As he gets kicked in the face, he grabs Hayami's leg and slams him right after. So even when he takes some damage, he's able to get a counter in, showing how top tier Drota truly is. And this fight so far has probably been one of the best in the tournament so far, purely based on how solid this chapter has been so far. We got grappling between the two, we got Jaime finally landing attack, we got this insane page of Drota getting a counter in after getting kicked in the face. After Jaime gets slammed again, Drota decides to take him from the back rather than waiting for Hyami to get up, as prior to this Hyami has been getting up too fast and countering or catching Drota by surprise, so he takes him from the back, but straight away Hyami headbutts Drota with the back of his head, dealing more damage in Drota and letting himself free. And then straight after that Hyami goes for a flying knee into Drota's face, but as Drota is falling back from the flying knee, he's able to grab Hyami again and slam him. And with these few pages, you can kind of see how Drota, who only slams or throws his opponent, is being limited in this fight, as Hyami is now using grappling, chokes, flying knees, punches, pretty much everything he can do to win this fight, while Drota, who still only damages Hyami via throws, and it seems to be kinda goofy, especially after this flying knee. He's falling back, showing how badass he is, but this slam seems to, be pretty goofy looking, but he did do some pretty decent damage here, with Hyami actually being on the ground longer than usual here. We see that Drota's bleeding from the nose, showing that Hyami's few attacks that he landed on his face has actually done some damage, so this fight is closer, but Hyami has still taken an insane amount of damage compared to what Drota has done so far. But as blood's going everywhere, as Hyami is laying face down on the floor, of course he gets up again and says the following: "Even though it hurts so much, I want to die, I somehow feel good." So, seeing somewhat similar to Maguro converting his pain into pleasure. So, who knows what's going on here? We got Faye saying he's laughing. We got Lolong saying what a pervert. We got Kano and Wakasuki having a conversation. Kano says, "Hey Waka." Waka says, "Yeah," looking like a goofy dude as he normally does when he's not fighting. That form is the same as his, showing a direct comparison to Maguro Masaki from Kengan Ashura. And then as expected, I thought we would see this guy in this chapter. We have the return of the older Hyami who sent this Hyami to fight for him in this tournament, with him having a deal with Yamashita that he'll get a high rank position in the Kengan Association again if Hyami gets a win for Team Kengan. We got him smiling like an absolute goofy man saying the following: "It worked perfectly, it's completed," the title of the chapter. And then we have the official reveal of what Hyami is. Let's read. "Maguro Masaki had a rare talent as a fighter, but he was consumed by madness and became unable to reach his full potential," which was obvious as shown from his flashback, showing he's an absolute beast, and the fact that Drota did like 15 years of hard solo training in the hope to find Maguro and fight him again, showing how strong he actually thought Maguro was, but he was just too insane, which kinda limited his overall potential and power. If Maguro Masaki by any chance was able to restrain his madness, you've finally woken up, Masaki. The worm attempted to use me like a tool, but the one who won in the end was me. I got your technology in my hands," your is referring to worm. "Go get them, Masaki, the perfect soldier, a clone that surpasses the original. Hayami Masaki, show them what you're truly made of." So, completely confirming it, Hyami is a clone of Maguro, and he was cloned using worm technology that the older Hyami got his hands on, proving the fact that the worm actually does have cloning technology, which pretty much completely 100% confirms the clone theory that's been going around in the fandom since it was first mentioned, since the appearance of Hyami, since the appearance of Gairouki. Which is honestly disappointing for me. I was hoping clones wouldn't exist in Kengan, but oh well, can't complain too much now. It's a reality, what can I do? But yep, Hyami is a clone of Maguro, and due to not being absolutely insane, he is someone who surpasses the original, showing how overpowered this cloning technology they have seems to be. And if you don't remember, Hyami, when attempting his failed invasion in Kengan Ashura, he had help from various worm people, showing that he was in cahoots with Worm, but now this proves he's currently not with Worm, which, makes me assume he's going to die, most likely via Worm at some point in, the next few chapters. I do see the older Hayami dying, and I kind of want him to die at this point. I'm overseeing his ugly face, but yeah, clones are now in Kengan. The Worm isn't involved with the older Hyami anymore, will most likely get revenge at some point. Hyami, or the clone of Maguro, is someone stronger than Maguro, or someone with the same level of strength but doesn't have the craziness or madness limiting him or, stopping his progression. So this fight is going to be absolutely beastly. I do still think Drotta's going to win this fight, as I do think the older Jaime is going to die maybe after this fight straight away. Maybe Mutaba will come out of nowhere and just kill him or something like that. Maybe not, who knows. But yeah, I do think the fight is going to end most likely next chapter with Drotta winning, probably like high difficulty, taking a pretty insane amount of damage, and may probably eliminate him via ring out, because Hyami seems to not be getting knocked out, and if Drotta kills him, he loses, so ring out seems to be the only way for Drotta to win this fight at this point. But yep, that's it for today's review. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord, and yep, that's it guys. Peace.